What's going on, everybody? It's Ron Brown, LMT, the People's Fitness Professional, alongside my co-host today, Sheik 7 Ill. Let's Think Podcast is in the building with
Sir.
me, man. Today, we're gonna build
Sir.
with this brother right now, and then we're gonna talk with the brother Sharif about the. Let me just look at this. I want to be. I want to make sure I'm writing exact what I am saying, and it's the Lakeland, Florida shooting. North Lakeland, Florida shooting. The brother, peace, God, peace to the God awareness daily. Um, so right now, before we build with Sharif on this shooting that happened in Florida at 8 o'clock, we're gonna build with Let's Think Podcast, Sheik 7 Ill. I have a whole lot of questions for you, but we only got like 50 minutes.
Mhm.
So let's go into it. First of all, Sheik 7L, how you doing tonight?
All is well. Allow me to rise, giving all thanks and perfect praises to Allah, highest honors to his holy prophet. Honors to all, and I mean all, each and every one of you participating in the uplifting program of the program of uplifting following humanity. Islam.
Islam.
Um, I'm doing well, brother, man. Um, I'm just living life, you know, just living the life, handling responsibility just like everybody else. Nothing, I think just I'm
That's
doing great. Praise be to Allah. It's a blessing.
that's peace. I watch you on social media, and we've been in contact now for some months.
Yes.
I notice how you move and things like that, and I respect it. And
Honest.
I want to know
Gratitude.
what was your upbringing? I know you're from NC, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how was that growing up in NC?
Well,
And
honestly,
we're about in NC actually.
I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, the east side of Charlotte to be exact. I can say this, man. My upbringing was just like anybody else, any one of us. You know, I think it was the same thing. I grew up in a home where it was divided. Um, my father and my mother were never married, so I lived. I had the this side of the family and that side of the family thing going on. Um, I was raised partially part of my life by my grandmother and my grandfather, and then I went to live with my father later on. However, my mother was never really in my life. She, like a lot of my friends and my associates during the time, they didn't have the father experience. Mine was the reverse. I didn't have, my mother. So, but still, it was the same thing, man. I grew up in how would I say? I wouldn't necessarily say the hood because I was granted a lot of things that a lot of my fellow comrades weren't granted. You know what I'm saying? I can't even say that I experienced poverty at an extreme level. Now that we experience hard times, yes,
Mhm.
you know, um, but I did experience allowing myself to drift off into a life that not necessarily was presented to me. But here I am today. Praise be to Allah.
That's peace. That's peace. Now, you said what's your perception of like extreme poverty? Because you said you didn't grow up in extreme poverty, right?
Right.
So what would be your perception of what extreme poverty would be?
Okay, let me give you what I think it's not.
Mhm.
Um, One side of my family, like I said, I had the both side of the family thing. One side of my family was what would be considered. Uh, I don't know if people are still familiar with the term middle class.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? But pray, honest to my grandmother and my grandfather. Um, I can still today with my intellect say that in some way, form, some fashion, I think in many cases they lived above their means.
Mm.
Um, so we experience certain things, though from the outside, it may have looked like, they stay over here. But on the inside, it wasn't necessarily as bright as the outside. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
My father's side of the family, though, um, they were teachers, lawyers, what would be considered upper class.
Mm.
Um, they were wealthy, you know. So when I moved from my grandmother's house to my father's house, it was an extreme change. So I experienced having everything that I wanted and desired, and I was brought up in a way where education was placed on the forefront. I wasn't raised to be, to neglect my intellect,
Hmm.
you know. But I had constituents, I had partners who that wasn't afforded those blessings. You know what I'm saying? You know, it was very different, but yet and still, I they were my constituents, they was you know, my people. I grounded with them. But that's what I mean by extreme poverty. I wasn't in a situation where, you know, money was a thing.
Hmm.
That wasn't necessarily my upbringing, though I experienced it in certain situations. However, that wasn't the totality of my upbringing. You know, like I said, I had a structure. You know, I was brought up with principle. Cause see, extreme poverty is when we're experiencing poverty here,
Hmm.
and which creates a condition, you know, that we call poverty on the manifest. So I wasn't starved here. I was given good morals and good values. You know what I'm saying? And I decided to make changes in my thinking and the things that I was taught later on in life, which caused me to experience some things that would be considered hellacious, but that's another thing.
Hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So you grew up in a middle class slash upper class family,
Mm-hmm.
and that says a lot about you and makes me understand you a whole lot more now, a whole
Mm-hmm.
lot, because of the way um you market and promote really well, right? Off the gate, right? And you act like you don't know what you're doing,
I,
right?
I really don't.
Right. So, but it's just something that you're naturally able to do because you
Yes,
just grew up with the ability and the teachings to just put the pieces of the puzzle together.
yes, sir. Maybe so. Maybe some of those things that because you got to realize my father's mother was a teacher in the school system, in the Charlotte Mecklenburg school system. She was also a professor at Johnson C. Smith and Barbara Scotia.
Mhm.
So, you know, she had me under her care for a while. You know what I mean? So I was the child who was taught handwriting. She taught me how to write cursive. These type of things, mathematics, studying, reading. You know, these type of things she instilled in me. You know what I'm saying? And I guess those things carried on in the other areas. But I really don't know what I'm doing, brother. I really don't, man. I think I'm just doing. The thing might be doing me and me not doing the thing.
Okay. Okay. That's peace. Now, you grew up in the house, good households,
Yeah.
um, and education was at the forefront.
Hmm.
However, you did take a turn, as you said. Now, at what age did you take that turn?
I can say I took the turn probably around that age 11, you know. Um, and what was so traumatic, like I told you, I didn't grow up with my mother, right?
Mm.
So that was traumatic in and of itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Um, so I met well, my mother was in and out of my life. I never knew her. You know what I'm saying? I never experienced waking up to moms, you know, uh I didn't get to come get me from school. I didn't get none of those experiences. You know what I'm saying? I experienced it with my grandmother. I didn't experience with my biological mother. So around the age 10, my biological mother came back and, she showed up and she started sticking around. So I was getting to know her.
Mhm.
And shortly, some months before my 11th birthday, she passed away. You know what I'm saying?
Sorry to hear
Um,
that.
so that within it, in and of itself was serious, so it kind of switched me up psychologically, you know what I'm saying? It made me, with an adolescent mind, an immature mind, it made me ask, why and what did I do? It turned me
Right.
into a victim.
Hmm.
So I got into victim mode, and once you get into victim mode, sometimes it makes you make irrational decisions. So I
Right.
started to pardon me, I started to think different. I started to see the world different, where education used to be on the forefront. Now I didn't too much care about it. Only thing I cared about was the betrayal, how I felt betrayed by whom, whatever, what situation, whomever was in control of it at the time, because at that time I didn't have knowledge of self, so I didn't have a proper scope to view life through. So I viewed it like most children, and I felt kind of betrayed by God, my so-called perception of that at the time. So it made me spiral into a place where I made decisions to, you know, rebel against those things that I was taught, those principles that I was taught. And and in doing so, and what facilitated it really, though I stayed in these neighborhoods that was okay, it was surrounded by what ones would call, you know, the hood. You know what I'm saying? So all of my friends, if I walked up a block up the street,
Mhm.
it went from living with the Hustles to living with Doughboy and Ricky. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where my friends live. You know, these are the guys I went to school with. You see what I'm saying? So it was like night and day, just a block away. But that's where I went and chilled there. That's where I found, my brotherhood, my camaraderie at, where I found what I thought I was getting love as, and sometimes an immature mind, adolescent mind, we think that's what we're receiving.
Mhm.
And, I got involved into gang violence. I got involved in a lot of things that are very common today. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I want you to hold that thought. Let's rewind now. I don't know how deep you can get into your affiliations
Hmm.
with the gangs. If
Yeah.
you don't want to, that's fine. We can move on. Can you
Um.
talk about that?
Uh. Put it like this. I won't get into specifics
Mhm.
because you know that's not even the light that I'm casting at this point. You know what I'm saying? That's not the signal that I'm broadcasting into the matrix. But I'll say this: I got involved at a young age. And I got involved in something that wasn't what in the streets would be called green lighted, right? So it wasn't authorized. However,
Okay.
no, it's some more. However, I hung around other people that were affiliated with a gang that was authorized. And being that I already hung around them, being that I already was in the streets with them, I went that direction, and
Mhm.
that led to, you know,
Mhm.
but you know, the reason why I won't get into specifics is because that part. Well, I'll get into specifics. I was affiliated with Mob Pyro.
Ma Paru.
Yeah,
Now he said that, y'all. I'm not like DJ Flat or Adam 22. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah, that's it. I mean,
Yeah. All right. So Ma Paru. Now Ma Paru. From what I know, it comes from L.A.
yeah,
Okay. So it wasn't green lighted.
no, no. The later affiliation with Mob Pyro was green light.
All right. Cool. And
Mhm.
around that time, you were in your teens,
Yes, late teens, yeah,
late teens, late teens,
mid teens.
mid teens. All right. We're around the same age. Well,
Yeah,
actually, we are the same age exactly.
right.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, my story, y'all figured it out later on, 20 years from now. But anyway,
But, just
but
to let you, but literally, just to let you know, I don't need you know all of the questions that may arise from that. I mean, I
no,
don't.
no, no, no. I'm not even like that. I'm not. I'm
No,
not
no,
even.
no, 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 not from you. I answer any question.
Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay,
You know
okay.
how sometimes the public can be very you know uh, unstable and ungrateful, and they
Gotcha.
can send waves into the ethers that I it's not even important at this point in time.
Right. You were young. So now at that age, you were Ma Paru, right? So from Ma Paru, how did you get in? There's so many questions I want to ask you, brother.
Come on with them.
Oh man. Ma Paru, let's go to this. Ma Paru to Morris Science. How'd you get there? Wait, first off, Ma Paru, and I think you were affiliated with the 5% Nation. How
Yeah.
did okay, so
Um.
how did all that happen?
What
What
happened was
give us the timeline and you know,
let's go very young, still mid teens.
mhm,
Um. Under situations and circumstances that led me into what a lot of us have experienced is incarceration.
mhm,
You know, at that point, my and I've never told this story publicly, but I'm gonna give it to you. I was in I was in transition to being transferred into the prison system,
mhm.
and my father came to see me, and being I had just, for lack of better words, been sentenced, and I never forget it, bro. He was sitting in front of me, and he said, he was looking down at the table, and his head popped up, and he looked at me like this. He said, "When you go in there, find Farrakhan in them, they can save you."
Mm,
Now, my father raised up Christian.
mhm,
I never, he never took me to a masjid. He never took me to a mosque. He never, you know, none of it. He told me to do that. And at the time, the only thing I understood was I was young, was go find the Muslims.
mm,
So once I got to where I was going, I did just that. Um, I took my shahada at the age 16. A brother by the name of who's an imam here in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. His name was Nasif Majid. His name is Nasif Majid. He's still an imam at the at Masjid Ashahi. But from there, that opened me up. You know what I'm saying? It definitely was a shifter. So I dove deep into the Quran, what it was, what Islam was from that particular perspective or school of thought. And later on, I was blessed by someone, and they gave me the message to the black man. I've never been the same.
Mm.
When I got that book, it was like, bro, it was a game changer. So
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna let you flow. Pardon me. Just like I said, there's so many things I want to ask you. You're
go
an
ahead,
interesting brother.
go ahead.
Now, message to the black man, you got that.
Mm-hmm.
You took your shahada.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we go into that, how does the prison system in Charlotte, North Carolina work? Is it like uh Europeans over here, Muslims over here, gang members over here, like, you know, the gang members run the phone, how is
Well,
it how does it work?
I haven't been in there in quite some time, so I.
No, I mean when you were there.
Uh, when I was there, you had that. You had you know, of course, the Europeans did their thing.
Yeah.
You had gangs, you know, but somehow, some way, but I understand it now that there were many brothers who I would pray beside that was still gang affiliated. As you know, weird as that may sound,
That sounds it happens though a lot.
you know, so you know that element was it's very intricate. You know what I'm saying? It was very unique. So yes, you had your gangs, but I would say this: when it came to the brothers in the Ummah, what happened was, being that you have brothers from you know all different, from sets, still praying beside each other. That was the thing that nullified a lot of things that could have happened.
Mhm.
You know, nullified a lot of things that could have happened.
Okay. Now back to rewind back to you were like I would say an Orthodox Muslim or dealing with Al Islam,
Mm-hmm.
and then you picked up the message to the black man. Did that conflict with the two conflict?
Did the two conflict? Um,
And I'm gonna
no,
assume you were still affiliated with Ma Paru at the time.
no, no,
Okay.
no. I'll say this: I never gang banged in prison. I never did. That wasn't my reality in there. I was always the brother seeking knowledge, involved in something. I was always at a Juma. I was at the interfaith meditation meetings. I was at uh, Talim. I was at, Rastafarian classes. I was at, I even visited a couple meetings at the Moorish Science Temple of America while incarcerated. You know, that was the type of brother I was. Did I, did, did we get into things? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't my mind frame. So I didn't involve myself with people that was on certain stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes to going in prison, doing your thing, repping you said, running with the gang and all of that, nah, nah, nah. I was me. I stayed out the way. You know.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 So the message to the black man and so the Nation of Islam and Al Islam didn't conflict to you.
Well, I mean, from a surface level, of course it would.
Mm-hmm.
From a doctrinal level, of course it would. So, but what happened was when I got the message to the black man, what it did was at that time spoke to a part of me that I didn't comprehend at the time. It's it added value to me being who I was. Now mind you, you're talking about a 16-year-old brother, Asiatic brother, who though had been in good situations, but had still experienced things that were traumatic and made him feel like, you know, possibly I'm like dirt under the foot of these so-called people, even though these so-called Europeans, even though I grew up in those better situations than my homies and my friends. What happened was I still grounded with them. I still felt like I was a part of that experience too, because where I went, there were, they called you, excuse my, they called you by the N word more than they called you by your opus number.
Mm. Mm.
So when you get that type of psychological whipping each and every day, this is, you wake up to this, you go to sleep to this, you know, and then I was the type, that part of me, I experienced, them doing some vicious things to me because I rebelled against that. So when I got this message to the black man, it was like, whoa, you know. And in the beginning, it woke up that part of me that just wanted to, you know, I got aggressive. I wanted to bite back. I wanted to fight back, and I took a lot of things immaturely. However, it woke up a part of me that was dead.
Mm.
That psychological shift I had never experienced before in my life, and it just opened up a part of me, a chamber of me that it just took me on a quest, and I just I can't even explain it. It just opened up a door where it just made me. I think it gave me a sense of there's more.
Okay. Now, people may get on me about this, but
What?
yo, I've never read. I've looked through the message to the black man, but I've never read it. I have the book. I have the book. I have that in the theology of time. With throw it, I'm gonna be quite honest with you, man. In New York City, I grew up in Harlem and the Bronx, more Harlem than the Bronx, and for me, it was the 5% nation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wasn't really too big on the Nation of Islam like that. I knew the Nation of Islam existed. I respected the Nation of Islam. Um, and I think right now, how I think is that they definitely represent our people for sure. It's like the army for the people.
Mm,
However, it just wasn't me. It just wasn't my thing. I was always 5% or by myself.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well,
so I never really got into the Nation of Islam teachings like that, unless it came from you know uh 120 or Supreme Wisdom.
mm.
So I just
Well, with me, I thought I came into contact with the message to the black man. Now remember, I grew up. Now this is like the year 90 from like 90. As far as I can remember, when I moved over with my father, I would say like 89,
mhm,
90. That's when I really went over there, but I was still going back. I was a lot of things was going on. But, there was a store around the corner, maybe like a block or two from my home, called the Shabazz store.
okay,
And the Shabazz store was a restaurant, and they sold 1 cent candy, like 1 cent candy chews.
yeah,
So you
yeah,
can come in there with $1, they fill you up the bag like bang. So that was a popular store. However, my grandmother, my father's mother, did business with them. You know what I'm saying? She did real estate business with them. So I was known to go by the Shabazz store, and I would eat. They sold, their restaurant was flame. They ate the fish and grits in the morning. I'm talking about that you could get breakfast, lunch, and dinner there, right?
hmm
And then you had the Masjid Ali Shah, which is called now. I can't remember. I can't remember what mosque number it was at the time. But that masjid was once, um, under the leadership of the most, the other nation in Islam,
hmm
right? But during the transition, they followed war thing. But however, make a long story short, they honored Ali Shah because Ali Shah established that masjid. Ali Shah was responsible for bringing, the Nation of Islam to Charlotte. So,
mm.
um,
History.
my grandmother did business with them, and I found out later that one of my cousins was actually a member of the Nation of Islam. Right, he was an exterminator by the name of Pasha, Imam Pasha on Phase 4 Road, Masjid Ali Shah. He's the Imam there now. However, um, so I had you know, I had experience. I was around. I heard the name Elijah Muhammad. I heard the name Farrakhan. I heard these names. However, I wasn't in the mosque. You know what I'm saying? It was just as familiar as anybody else that, went around them or had been around them or ran into a brother who had a final call, you know what I'm saying, etc. But yeah, I was always around that. But however, after receiving message to the black man, I ran into a brother, one of my brother's friends who was incarcerated at the time. And he saw me reading the book, and me and him started building. And his name was Unique God Allah. And I was like, Unique God Allah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was there was another shift. I'm like, I had to immediately ask the brother, what's up with the name? And he started building on, you know, the lessons. He started talking about supreme mathematics and supreme alphabets and this, that, and the fourth, and this, that, and the fourth. And one day, I was so interested and captivated by it, I asked him, could I have some? And that was my introduction to the 5%. However, being in that state, I was a youngin. We were young. We were youngins. You know what I'm saying? We were children. So, you know, though I came into contact with it, I don't think that I fully perceived the depth of it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I went on to be involved in other things. I went from there into Sufism. Started studying that intensely. I was first introduced to the concept of Sufism through the teachings of Muhammad Rahim Bawa Mahayadin. He has a fellowship in Philadelphia, and at that time they had a fellowship that you could write, and they would just send you the literature. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And some type of way, maybe it's something that has been innate in me, something that has been a gift that I've had, is I've always been able to kind of see a connecting factor in everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even as I traveled, one thing I learned, I conceived early, not necessarily being told either, is that you know everybody talking about the same deity. That was one of the thoughts that I carried even as a youngin. Everybody talking about the same deity. They just seeing it different.
Right.
And that particular thought stayed with me even until now, to this very day. You know, so that led me into Sufism. That later led me into Rastafarianism, and it later led me into studying Buddhism. It later led me into, you know, eventually joining the craft of masonry. Um, even became I was even initiated into the Order of the Eastern Star, became an assistant worthy patron.
Wait. Ho. Time out. So you became a part of the what? The Eastern Stars?
Yes, the Order of the Eastern Star. Yes,
Okay, so normally that's for women. So
yes.
yeah, so how were you able to become a part of that?
Hmm. Well, there is two male positions in the Order of the Eastern Star. It's called the worthy patron and the assistant worthy patron.
Okay,
So those are only two males that would be involved in a chapter.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, um, you've done it all pretty much when it comes to the different schools of thought. I want to ask, hold on 1 second. Sorry, pardon me. Yeah, so now I want to ask this. So you've been through these schools of thought. What's next though, as far as like schools of thought? How did you put it all together? How did you put it all together? And I guess you allowed it to shape who you are today.
Well, first and foremost, I got to give all thanks and perfect praise unto Allah for His holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali.
Mhm.
It's because when a Noble Jew Ali found me, um, he made it all make sense. He made it all make sense. When I read the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, it was like having a thought or a belief for a long time and really no one never finding a confirmation to it.
Mhm.
So I carried around this thought that everybody, this is the same deity, just looked at from from different perspectives. And that was one of the first things that grabbed me in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Is that, paraphrasing, you know, the Egyptians called them Thoth, you know, etc as it mentions in the Holy Quran. We all see a perspective of God or the or Allah. Nations see portions of Allah, but we don't see the whole of Allah. You know, they'll take one part that with the part of Allah that they can conceive and take that as the whole of Allah. So I saw that early, even, but I couldn't shape and mold the thought, if that makes any sense.
Yes, sir.
So once I got into the teachings of the Holy Prophet Noble Jew Ali and studying the life of Jesus, life works and teachings of Jesus as he moved and knowing the hit and getting the history, and you know, from being in India to being in Africa to being in, you know, these places that are holy, that the Holy Prophet, the brother Jesus studied in and worked in and taught in. This is something that, you know, even though I was brought up in church, as we are, many of us were, and I was even taught the Bible, never heard of these things. But as I went through schools of thought and heard certain teachers and heard certain jewels and certain degrees about who he was, and then I read the Prophet Noble Jew Ali's teachings, it all made sense. And that's not even getting in deep, you know. I even was in the craft of masonry before the Prophet found
Mm. Now, when you say the prophet found you,
me. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you went over that already, but I just want to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get in tune with that, with the Moorish Science Temple of America, and
I'm
how?
that's a unique experience too. See, you're gonna make me dig. Okay. I proclaimed my nationality in the year 2014. However, I came into contact with more science prior while I was in prison.
Mhm.
And two of the brothers that I eventually came back into contact with once free, I already had a reputation of being amongst everybody who was, you know, on the knowledge. You know, I rotated in all the circles. So um a brother met me on the steps of Mos 36 here in Charlotte, North Carolina, on Brookshire Boulevard, under student minister Corey Muhammad. Shout out to Mos 36, Muhammad's Mos 36, and student minister Corey Muhammad. Um, I remember being out there on them steps, and I came with my brother Michael Muhammad,
Mhm.
and two brothers in turbans popped up, you know, at the mosque, and I guess they wanted to get into a debate on the front steps right after the meeting. So we had our exchanges, but come to find out, me and the brother knew each other. He was like, "Oh, bro, you remember me? Yeah, I remember you." And we was actually kind of cool, but we had went our separate ways. And he said, "Yo, bro, I want to demonstrate with you more, man. You know what I'm saying? Give me your number." So I got his number. We kept building. Came by my house, and it's just he came with that Quran.
And the rest was history.
And the rest was history.
So I'm looking at it right. As far as Moorish science, you didn't come into Moorish science through a temple per se, did you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
He was the at the time he was the Grand Sheik of Moore Science Temple of America, Branch Temple number 5 here in Charlotte.
Hmm.
His name was McClinton now, to be specific.
Okay, and that lineage, even though is really not important for
Mm-hmm.
me. Um, However, it is important details for the viewers.
Mm-hmm.
The lineage of where this branch temple comes from is from where? Is it from C. Kirkman Bay? Is it Millie Ill? You know, which lineage?
Which lineage? So that would be me asking. Ones would be asking who made my Sheik a Sheik. David Bailey L.
David Bailey Ill.
Mm.
Okay,
Grand Sheik David Bailey L. May he sail on smooth seas.
right. Now, another thing, how did you become a sheik? Did you go through the adept chamber and all that? Did you go through that process?
Yes, I did.
Nice, nice. And how long did it take you to get through the adept chamber?
Well, I'm gonna say this.
And you're doing better. You're doing better than me, by the way, because I've been in the movement longer than you, and I never been through the adept chamber, and that's a long story.
I'm gonna say this. Hmm. Well, all due respect, right, to my holy prophet. My holy prophet. If we look on a public, we all see the article where it says, "I'm an Egyptian adept student," right?
Hmm.
Though many of my brothers and sisters, have the degree of adept, I haven't. I don't consider myself an adept. I'm an adept student.
Mm, I like that.
So, how long did it take for me to get, to get out of the chambers? I'm still in them.
I mean, if you put it like that, we all are.
This, you know,
Now, can you talk about the process of going through the adept chamber? I mean, you don't have to give.
it's
Uh,
initiatory.
okay,
It's
just
in,
like masonry.
just like masonry.
No, it's like you get
Yes,
initiated.
yeah, it's
Like,
initiatory. It's initiatory body. Um,
mhm.
if one's could truly, if one's, let's say initiation is an experience. Let's go there. It's an experience. Um, some people can go through a ritual and never be initiated.
Mhm.
Um,
Mm, mm.
so you know the experience. Yeah, that's the experience.
Got you. Clear. Now, I have to ask this question.
Yeah,
You talk about boxing. You talk about how your I think it's your uncle was a boxer.
yeah, my uncle. Yes.
Now, you've done taekwondo before. You've done
Mm-hmm.
boxing before. I
Mm-hmm.
watch you. I watch you on Facebook, brother. You know, I'm not on Facebook like that. Like that, I post and I go. But when I see my brother, I say, "All right, what are you talking about today?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you boxing, you did taekwondo, all that.
Well, let me get it. I never pursued boxing as a career
Okay.
just because I had an uncle who was involved in boxing, who was a champion. I
Mhm.
took on the interest of it, so I did training. I learned the techniques. Um, then doing my stint, I ran into a brother by the name of Prince, and he was from up north. He was actually from the Bronx. We called him Champ, and he taught me. He was a Golden Glove boxer, and he taught me some 50 tools. You know,
Mhm.
so after coming up in Taekwondo as a child, my father knew martial arts, so that's another thing. So I had fighting from fighting from both sides. So that automatically made me interested in martial arts, automatically made me interested in boxing. So I never, I got formal training in Taekwondo, but I never actually pursued boxing as a career. So I've never been in any amateur fights or anything like that, but I spent time in the gym
Okay. Okay. Now, so I take it that you're good with your hands, right? I don't know if
though. I
you
am.
knew that. I don't know if you know that from being in the street or being in matches or what have you. Well, you said you were just in the gym or whatever. You weren't
Hmm.
okay. So you know you're good with your hands by street stuff. You know everybody goes through that. You know what I mean?
Not just street stuff. Not
Okay.
just street stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because um, though you know the streets has played a part. However, I've actually been, you know, I've actually had shared the ring with some people who have taken this as a serious, taken that as a career. So,
Mhm.
not saying that they become champions or anybody that you probably know. However, I have been in there with them and I've had enough experience to say that, my fight game goes beyond just a little bit of street stuff.
Okay. 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 All right. So let's moving right along. As far as North Carolina and the culture in North Carolina and consciousness, like in New York City,
Hmm.
we have Sinetta and we have Sinetta and we have I'm saying I was getting ready to say had because Sinetta is no longer on 125th Street like he used to be. Um However, because Sinetta used to have VHS tapes out there. He used to have this bullhorn. Like Sinetta back in the days was a movie, man. Was a movie. And the conscious community in New York City was a movie, man. Everybody that missed that era in the late 90s to early 2000s, 2006, 7, 8, man, y'all missed a whole lot. But anyway, there was like a hub on 125th Street of consciousness. Just like I'm starting to see online, like Atlanta has a hub out there for consciousness. I think Z York was a part of that hub at one point. Does North Carolina and Charlotte have a hub for consciousness, or any part of North Carolina? Can you walk to a block or area and find books and tapes or videos, etc.?
Not like 125th Street.
Nah, it's not. I already know
I'm
because
not, man. I'm gonna tell you what it is in Charlotte. It's like if you know, kind of weird. We don't have a hub where you'll find, you know, it all out on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got the brothers from the Nation of Islam working certain areas in Charlotte. You see them selling the final call. You'll see that. You see the brother Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying, out on the street. You see them, you know what I'm saying? You'll see us, out, feet on the ground. But as far as a hub, I no.
no,
The closest I could say to that at one point you had Beatties for a Road because number one, Beatties for a Road was like an Asiatic mecca.
mm,
You got JCSU was a black college, historical black college on Beatties for a Road. So that was like it was a lot. A lot of Asiatic business at
mm,
one point.
mhm.
Now it's not so much. So you still have people who are hanging on, but not so much. Um, so if anything, if I remember anything like that, I would have to say, you know, Beatties for a Road, late '80s, early '90s, bro. But right now, nah. If it is, somebody need to tell me. Maybe I'm inside too much.
Mm. Now, the culture of North Carolina. the only thing I know about North Carolina, honestly, is uh brothers used to go out there and do their thing, get busy. You know what I mean? Like New Yorkers, New
Yeah,
Yorkers go to North Carolina to get
yeah.
money and all that.
We already, yeah. Hmm.
So that's what I know about North Carolina. I was supposed to go to North Carolina in 1998. It ain't work out. But you know, yeah, you know. So, North Carolina. What else about North Carolina? That's what sticks out to me. The drug culture in North Carolina. What is that? Why do people go to North Carolina to sell drugs?
Well, hmm. Let's say this. First look at where North Carolina is. Like
Okay.
when you come up the Eastern Shore, look at where it is.
Hmm.
You know, and then Charlotte has always, especially now, right now, everybody's from everywhere.
Mm.
You know, you rarely like a true Charlotte, North Carolinian that's far in between in Charlotte. I mean, of course we exist. I'm one of them. Of course we exist, but it's so many people from different places. You know what I'm saying? Um, and that has been taking place for years.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's been brought to the attention of the masses at this point. Everybody's recognizing it at this point, but really that's been happening for a while.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, with the diversity of people, you know, it just made it an opportunity, like a melting pot, I guess.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now.
And
Mhm.
and I'm gonna say when you come from places like, okay, say you come from New York, right?
Mhm.
You come with different game. You come with different tactics to do what you do,
Mhm.
and you come with things people ain't seen. They ain't up on. And you find your niche. You find your way to move into the situation and do what you do, and that's what happens. And that's what happens a little bit everywhere. Some people. Some places. Come from out of town. They move you on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But but it's all and don't get it twisted, bro. It ain't just like it ain't easy going anywhere. You're gonna find your situations and things that your opposition. It hasn't always, that history. Everybody just coming to North Carolina to sell drugs. You know, that ain't just no cakewalk either.
Now I'm glad you said that. So now, because I was getting ready to ask about this. So New Yorkers going to North Carolina to hustle.
Hmm.
From what you know, was it always a conflict between New York dudes and NC dudes in NC?
Not always, but a lot of the time.
Mm.
Not always, but a lot of the times. Because matter of fact, when I was young, I had a older like male figure in my life. He was from Brownsville. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? He the one taught me how to wear Timbs. He the one taught me about rocking the fatigues, and you know, he gave me a lot of New York flavor. He really taught me a lot about the streets. You know what I'm saying? However, I'm from Charlotte, so he was successful. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just about your approach. But I can say this, especially back then, man, a lot of brothers from the up top, they came with a mentality that, you know, everybody down here slow and you're gonna take everybody fast. And you're gonna lay your game down and ain't gonna be no opposition. And that will always cause an opposition.
Mm.
that will always cause opposition. I mean, and then I'm gonna keep it real with you, brothers would be very outspoken about it too. It wasn't like they came down with that on their mind and they kept it to themselves.
Mm.
This came out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? So, it caused situations and circumstances, and you know how situations like that go. So, but not always. It wasn't everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it wasn't everybody. Some people,
So there
some
was
brothers.
certain groups and pockets of people, that would actually get along. See,
Yeah,
me when I look at when I look at people from down south, I never think slow. I don't know, like I don't know where that I don't know. Maybe I'm just a different type of person, whatever, right? But me, I'm in my head, y'all human beings just like we are. You can't really hide things from the human being like that, especially if the human being been around and
right,
experienced a lot of things
right,
and lives. You like human beings can see what's going on. You know,
exactly. I mean,
so
just like, bro. I mean, though we speak in different languages, we got different what modes of dress. We may even see things different. It's still the same element, bro.
right,
You know what I'm saying? That just the mere fact that you coming down here to do what you were doing there
yeah.
says something. You see what I'm saying? It says something. So, you
What does
know,
that say though, brother?
like what I said, the same element exists, the same conditions exist. The same conditions, bro.
Yeah,
We're still the same downtrodden, the same conditions that create what so many people glorify to this day
yeah.
exist there, and there.
So basically, are you saying you went to North Carolina to do what you do because you weren't getting no money in New York? Because
No, no, no. Maybe you want to expand.
okay.
Because
All right.
brothers be up top getting their money on. They got that sold up over there. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm,
came down here with some of their peoples. They seen a little pocket, like
mhm,
dudes down here need this, dudes down here doing this, and I feel like I click with them. I can come slide in and get a couple dollars out here with them. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And those are the ones who were successful, not the ones who came down with the you know they got their muscles flexing. I'm coming down here to step on things, and I'm gonna do what I want to do on this block. You know that don't always work.
Right, and bad things happen.
Yeah,
So now hip hop in North Carolina.
yeah.
I know about PD Pablo. That's the only person I know about in North Carolina. PD Pablo. Oh, and you and J Hood. Let's talk about it. What's going on with the hip hop scene in North Carolina, man?
Well, bro, honestly, I ain't. It's so many artists, bro. Like it's a lot of artists in Charlotte, North Carolina, bro. Like especially underground. You know what I'm saying? Ones that are not, necessarily, like I said, don't have deals and have the machine behind them.
Mhm.
However, PD Pablo, salute PD Pablo because even though I can honestly say, and I'm not being funny about this, I was never a fan, a PD Pablo fan, never a
I
fan.
was I was I was a fan of that song, bro. That song was hot. That song was hot, bro. You can't
I
front.
I
He had
think
the
I think
Timberland beat.
no. I think it was hot to me when I was in the moment in the crowd and it had everybody else hype. So
Yeah,
that energy just had me like too. But
yeah.
nah, I've never said put that PD Pablo on.
Mm.
I've never said that, bro. And I'm just being completely honest. I've never said turn let put that PD Pablo in. I've never said that. And in all respect to J Hood was just in Charlotte, not too long ago, and I shared a venue with him, but I've never said let's put that J Hood in. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's not dope, not saying, you know, he didn't do his thing, but
Mm.
it's honestly, that hasn't been something that I've ever said. And so
I
when
mean,
it comes to
I remember one line from J Hood. I would never forget.
what
It
is
don't
it?
get more streeter. See, I'm nice with the hands, but I'm better with the heater. That's
Yeah.
that's my line right there.
Yeah. But when it comes to Charlotte music, man, of course, right now we already know as far as um, popularity is concerned and talent, bro. I'm not even gonna lean on bro like he don't have no talent. The baby, you
Oh
see
my god,
Charlotte,
I forgot. How can I forget about the baby? Time out. North Carolina. Listen, the baby is one of my favorite artists right now.
yo, and
Dude is nice.
bro, nice. You know what I'm saying? Bro's nice. You know what I'm saying? I ain't, and honestly, bro, um, that's all I can say about him. I ain't got nothing ill to say about the brother.
I want to talk about him a little bit. First of all, the dude is crazy nasty with it.
Yeah,
Crazy nasty with it.
yeah.
And um I noticed that with you and how you rhyme, you change up your flow a lot. Now, what of course, obviously, North Carolina was influenced by East Coast hip hop like everybody was,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, being that I hear how you rhyme, I hear how he rhymes, I hear how J Hood rhymes. Um, Petey Pablo had to been the most, like, to me, no disrespect, like country type rapper, right? But y'all is different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you go northern, southern, northern, southern, northern, southern with it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what was the influence, the East Coast influence for you.
First and foremost, Rakim.
Mm.
Rakim was my first influence because let's keep it real. Like I heard, yeah, I came up like I was born in 1980.
Mm.
So when it came to hip hop, my brother was the hip hop man. My brother was born in the 70s. So I was born in the 80s. I heard the songs. I heard Rakim. I heard Big Daddy Kane. I heard the Fat Boys. I heard Run DMC. I heard LL Cool J. I heard all that.
Mm.
But could I right now tell you an album go to? And this is just me being honest. I couldn't. I couldn't. Just pop up off the song and give you a song off of one of their albums like I was really into it. I was growing up.
Mm.
So when I really became conscious of rapping, I think one of the first, but like I said, Rakim was always because I always saw Rakim. I always heard everybody around me rock Rakim. It was Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. I like Rakim. You know what I'm saying? I like Big Daddy Kane too, but I like Rakim better. But anyway, one of my first, and this is the first rap album that I truly like sat down and really, 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 really listened to was Old Dirty Bastards first CD. It's Old Dirty Bastards album.
That
Yo,
is so interesting, bro.
the first rap album that I ever really, really, really listened to, like really, really
That's
listened to.
crazy to me, man.
And then it was after that, and watch the extreme. After that, it went to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
That makes a lot of sense, though, bro.
So, and then I was and then after, that was the first Wu Tang member I really started listening to, and then of course, you had Meth, but Raekwon was my man. You know what I'm saying? Raekwon was my dude. But so I got a lot of I was inspired by Nas.
Mhm.
Definitely inspired by that. Yo, bro, I'm still inspired by 50's mind, bro. His whole approach to the rap game and how he did what he did was just like, to me, it's like phenomenal. Still to this day. You
And
know what I'm saying?
to be the where he is right now is, it just seems like it was calculated from the beginning.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, my East Coast influence, I would say, if I were gonna say, I think I was influenced by the whole East Coast, bro.
Mm.
Like,
Now, is that normal for like people from North Carolina, being that people from New
man,
York
they
go
may
out?
not say it, but yeah,
Okay,
they may not say it, but yeah, all of us had our period where everybody know East Coast was on top of the
mm.
rap game. You know what I'm saying? On top of hip hop. So everybody had their phase where they was Wu-Tang fans. They was, you know, like I said, come on, bro. Come on, if you were in that age bracket, bro, how couldn't you be? If you was in the hip hop, you was into East Coast music. That's what it was at one point.
That's a fact.
So we always affected by that, bro. And I know that all of us have a lot of, South and, you know, yeah, when the South that came on the scene, and bro, we done had a hold on things for a while. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I can say is this: that's one reason I think that it's been that way is because the add mixture of all the juices and influences.
Mm. Mhm.
You know, like you got brothers right now that's coming out of the South because what a lot of people tried to do at one point, like we weren't lyricists in the South. You
Yeah,
know, them boys can't rap. They can't rap. Now you can't say that so much. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that at all, really.
right. Name people from North Carolina right now that's on a come up or that's been popping. Like, if you could
Then,
break down a little bit of the history.
all right, first and foremost, let me go back to 2000. I'm gonna go back to 2003. I want to talk about when I first became involved in all of the music and all of that. And that's when I really started to pay attention, you know what I'm saying, to Charlotte rappers. So you had first and foremost Longevity Entertainment. Longevity Entertainment, um, Kevin King, J Maz, Raylene, Prophet J, Slick. Like I could the names could go on. You had Kojak the Black Mac and the Black Dynasty. You had Liquor House Records. You got Big Bronze. You got Young S Dub. He called himself Numeral Three now. Um, bro, I could. Who else? You had Diggy Die. You had can't forget that. You got Sickly Jones. You got Rod D. Stevenson. You got
Now, how do we find all these people? These are people like online right now.
yeah, by them names,
Mm.
by those names. You know what I'm saying? You can find Kojak by OG Jack JAK. But you got some of the younger era. You got Dolo Devo coming up right now. You got Lil Shaq coming up right now.
Little Shack or Lou Shack?
Lil Shaq,
Little
Lil
Shack.
Shaq, LIL Shaq. You got him coming up right now. Rest in peace, Donkey Cartel, man. Big Donk, man. He got he was murdered some years back, man, and he was really on the rise, man. A lot of people know about him. Man, he rested peace to sail on smoother seas. You got, you know, but I could like names upon names upon names upon names, bro. Um, who man,
It's
bro?
that many brothers from North Carolina rhyming right now.
Mm,
That's out. That's
mm,
moving.
mm.
Yo, that's crazy, bro. That's just crazy. Like,
Bro, and his sisters out here. Uh, you got a chick named Sammy Sosa, dope. Um, you got Fat Dior. You got man, I can't forget her. Shanae, you got Shanae. What's her name is Too Tall, bro. Dope. Um, I can't even keep up with all the sisters. You got a bunch of sisters doing their thing, bro.
bro, can you send me? Can you text me when, as soon as we get off this? Text me all those names. I'm gonna put those in the title.
All right,
Put
all
some of
right,
the names in the title.
I will do. And man, shout out to every artist in Charlotte, man, because it's a hard grind out here in Charlotte. We haven't quite picked up on that wave that I would say would take us to the next level in modes of collective thinking and supporting each other here in Charlotte. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
I'm sure the baby has some stuff going on in that area.
well, for a minute, he did sign a couple people from the area. He signed Stunner for Vegas at one point. He and the homie Rich Don't. Shout out to the homie from the East Side, Rich Don't. He had what's the brother's name? The one that was the notorious something. No disrespect to the brother. And he had a couple sisters on his label. I think they all. I don't know what. I don't see them with him anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the way it was at one point. I don't see them like that. I don't. So I don't know the nature of their business anymore. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I can't say if they're still doing business at all. But shout out to them. So he really. So other than that, you know, he he really I mean he's from here, bro. He know people in the city, of course.
Mhm.
He spent time here. Of course he's even said that he's actually his birthplace is Ohio. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
However, he did spend time here in Charlotte. So when it comes to him wanting to rep Charlotte, I guess I mean it's cool. I don't have no problem with it, man. That's where this way he did his thing at. This way he grew up and did what he did. So I
Mhm.
respect it. You know what I'm saying? I acknowledge it. However, I think he got business here. He got certain businesses here. But as far as with the other artists, I haven't seen anything. So I'm not gonna say he doesn't. I haven't seen anything other than Rich
Why
Don't.
do you think it's so hard for North Carolina artists to get a break or catch a buzz? Right now, we got the internet, so you could just catch a buzz.
It's not that simple.
Okay.
It's,
Oh, you know what? You're right about that. You're right
yes.
about that.
However, the reason why a lot of us haven't caught a break, in my humble opinion, mm, it's I can't even give it one reason. But I think one of the primary reasons is that number one, a lot of us we don't do anything collectively. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see. Of course, you got artists that work with artists. You got your cliques that work with your cliques.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? However, I don't see a lot of the artists collabing with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Which made a lot of cities successful. You know what I'm saying? The ability to, you know, spread, promote your brand. This is like if you're hard, you got one side of the city, right? Your side, you from the west side. Everybody know you on the west side, right? I'm on the east side. Everybody know me on the east side. Once we do this and we get together and we start collabing, your fans become my fans. Some of your fans become my fans as well as yours, and some of mine become your fans as well as mine. So it's like I'm not seeing a lot of that. That's one thing. And another thing is, let me just be honest too, bro. North Carolina, one of the hatingest states in the world.
I thought it was New York. I thought it was not. It might be New York, bro.
Bro, listen, bro.
No disrespect to my
Li-
New Yorkers,
li- li-
but yo, everybody from New York, let's keep it a buck, man. Like the unity out here is just like
Guess what? It might be the same thing here.
it's like dog eat
It's like
dog.
everybody's in competition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not to say nothing wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? But what it turns into when you're in so much competition, what it turns into, you know, I've heard this actual statement, bro, and this is in more than one place. In more than one place. Oh, you done heard such and such? Oh, nah, I ain't heard him. My son rap.
Mm.
Like I'm not gonna listen to his rap because my son or my brother or my sister or whoever raps. And I've heard statements like this
Mhm.
multiple times.
Right.
So if this is the mentality that people carry, what you expect? That's why. I'm gonna keep it real with you. The baby put his grind down here. Like he was one, bro. You seen him you seen his posters, his promotional material everywhere,
Mhm.
everywhere. That's one thing I can give him. If you didn't see his face, you seen his promotional material. Baby Jesus was everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, and that's something a lot of us don't do.
Mhm.
Because guess what? If we all did it, if we all, everybody that we know that's rapping did it and took that type of approach, bro, I don't even think it'd be room on the sidewalks of the streets of Charlotte without stepping on a flyer or something.
Mm.
That's
Cause
how
so,
many rappers it is.
ooh, damn, damn.
And you think about it, it's a new one popping up every couple weeks.
Mm.
So, and bro, and then salute to them all. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things the baby did that I don't see. Shout out to Chop too, man. You know, he was signed to the baby too at one point. Or he was rocking when they was doing business, man. He hard, bro. Hard, bro, hard.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's a lot of things, bro. Number one, bro, we haven't done anything collectively. We haven't came together collectively to, really put down the Charlotte brand. Like you go anywhere, you understand what East Coast music is. It's automatically equated with New York. You know what I'm saying? We
Well,
we haven't made, huh?
depending.
Depending. Well, I mean, from here, that's if you hear East Coast music, New York. That's the first thing you're gonna think about.
Yeah, true, true,
You
true,
know,
true.
so you know, um, yeah, that's what it's been, bro. And Bro, I see it coming though. I
Yeah.
see it coming because I think it's going to be the younger artists.
To take it to the top. Take it to the top.
Hmm I think it's going to be them. You know what I'm saying? Because man, they got this wave, bro. They like these children got this wave, bro. I've never in this day and time, I never thought rapping off beat would be the thing.
Yeah, me either. There's a guy out there from Atlanta. I forgot his name. I think his name is Baby Kia, something like that. He got this crazy song. I was weird, but he's rapping off beat. He's on beat and off beat, on and off.
Yeah,
You know, I
that part.
yeah, but kind of RZA used to do that. Silk the Shocker used to do that. Who
Oh
else?
man,
It was another dude that used to do.
who did you just say?
RZA used to do that. Silk the Shocker.
What? Why you mention him?
Who? Silk the Shocker?
Yeah.
Because he was like off beat and on beat, off beat, on beat. You know,
Why you mention him with RZA?
because they both were on and off beat.
That's not that's not too. What made you think oh,
I like Silk the Shocker, man.
oh yeah, you're unique.
Yeah. Yo, I
And
like Silk the Shocker, man.
mm-mm.
Yo.
Bro, mm-mm.
Nobody likes Silk
No
the
no disrespect, no disrespect, man. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If anybody was smothered in whack juice,
Hold on,
Silk the Shocker.
Blueface baby.
Who?
Blueface baby was on and off beat on
Who is
Blueface.
that?
Blueface.
Out of California?
Yeah.
Oh
That
yeah, he's smothered in whack juice too.
he alright, man. You gotta listen, man. You got,
I mean,
you know what it is? Like, I get it. Like when I listen to an artist, I'm listening to the flow, I'm listening to the beat, I'm listening to, the concept behind the song. I'm looking at the persona. I'm feeling the energy behind the music. You
yeah.
know, I appreciate the marketing behind it. I'm looking from a business sense. I'm looking
Let,
for
let, let, let me take that back. I ain't gonna say he's smothered in whack juice. What I'll say is I don't like his music.
okay.
That's a better thing to say, and I can retract that statement. I ain't gonna say nobody's smothered in whack juice. I just don't like your music.
Yeah. I mean, there's some people out there that's like totally whack, but I mean, I don't see them as like completely whack. Like when I listen to Blueface, if I ever I hear Blueface song Bust It Down Tatiana or whatever that song is, I listen to it and I go, all right, for whatever it's worth.
You
I get
listen to Blueface?
no. I'm saying whenever I hear it,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I appreciate the song. To me, to me, Ice Spice is super whack. She's covered in whack juice to me. She's super whack, bro. I
I
don't
mean,
even. She's
one
just
thing.
thrown out there, and I like glow sexy record rap. She can rap, bro. She think about it. If you think about this, right? This is her profession now. This is what she. If she can't rap, right, and she's making millions of dollars, then this is a miracle, bro.
Drake make
At
millions of dollars.
you gotta remember, like you're a rapper, right? It takes a
Drake
lot
makes
to,
millions of dollars.
huh?
Drake makes millions of dollars.
Drake can rap though.
Okay.
Drake can rap. I never said Drake can't rap, but Drake is just not the type of artist that I would rock with. Like the type of artist that I really like. I'm gonna let's say if I had a top 5 to 10, right? I'm gonna go with Sugar Free. From now, first of all, I'm gonna just give you a little history. I started off listening to hip hop through NWA, and my pop was it still is a funk musician. He plays the drums. So in my house it was all about funk. So I really started listening to hip hop heavy when the West Coast artists came out because they were playing the music that my pops always listened to. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, now one of my favorite artists, Sugar Free. I'm gonna go with Jay-Z. I go with Nas. I go with Casual. I'll go with Tupac, uh Sean Price. Who else? I think I got somebody else in there. I think that's about it. Nah. Yeah. Tupac. So a lot of the artists that I really like are from the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So I even like E40. I like E40. So I could listen to artists like that. That's like my ear is not like strict on New York, the New York sound.
Mhm.
That's why a lot of New Yorkers don't agree with my musical taste, and we get into back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I'm not like a East Coast head, like you know what I'm saying? Like that's not where I'm coming from. So when I listen to an artist, I'm listening to more than just the music behind it. I'm listening to the beat, of course. I'm listening to the flow and how they blend with the music, the concept behind it, where they're coming from as artists. Like so I respect Sexy Red's grind coming from St. Louis, coming from like a real, serious situation and making it. I look at those things. And I
What
put
I
all that together and I judge an artist based on all of those things.
what I say about Sexy Red is I can respect her ambition, her grind. You
Mhm.
know, I can respect all that. You know what I'm saying? And but just me asking, do I feel like do I like her music?
I don't necessarily like her music. I like one song because I like the hook. I like the way it goes with the beat, and I like the concept behind it. It was like more of a Soldier Boy, paying homage to Soldier Boy. See, she's really young, so she pays homage to Soldier Boy and Chief Keef. And as far as like music history, I appreciate
It
that part.
make, it makes sense. It makes sense. But like with me, brother, honestly, when it comes to you know how I found out about music?
Huh.
It gotta come as an alert in my phone. I would never know nothing about it. Like when the Drake and Kendrick situation popped off, somebody had to call me and tell me.
Oh, okay.
I really wasn't like even my music, but I don't listen to my music. Period.
Mhm.
Like I don't listen to music every day.
Yeah, I stopped doing that myself. Even like when I'm working out now, I stopped listening to music. I just like to try to keep my head clean.
Oh, yeah, but to me, I got enough going on in my head. I don't need no more noise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't listen to music every day. I don't even listen to my own music. I don't know why I've been like that,
Mhm.
but I've never really been the type of artist to just throw my music in and listen to myself all the time. I just like I get on my own nerves, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, man, music. I don't know, not every day, bro. Like I can't, and I don't have a favorite artist right now. Like somebody I would just go throw their music in and just go listen to it, and you know how certain people have their artists that they listen to. They wake up, they throw this on, and they throw that on. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't have one of them now. When it comes to those who I do know now in the rap game, and some of the people I'm paying attention to, I pay attention to them not only because of their flow. I pay attention to a lot of artists in these days and times for their business, for their moves, the moves that they
Right.
make. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That's what I'm doing. Exactly. Exactly.
So
Exactly. For
yeah,
sure.
like my one of the dudes on the come up that I'm really paying attention to right now, and I've been paying attention to him for months, is Big X the Plug out of Texas. I think he out of Dallas. Yeah, that's where he from. He out of Dallas. Big X the Plug. Go check him out. Know who he is. Bruh, fire.
I'll check them out. All
Fire.
right. Yo, let's wrap this up. This was a good build, great build. The brother Sharif couldn't come on today. He had emergency or what have you, had something going on. But you're definitely more than welcome to come back on. Uh, we'll talk about the future. Keep building. Let's Think podcast. You got the promo of Let's Think podcast. I need everybody to go out there and check out that podcast. That podcast is doing
Congrats.
numbers right now, doing really well. I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of you. You know what I mean? Going in the game and just making it happen. Let the people know how to find you, your social medias, etc.
First and foremost, I want to say honest to you, brother. Honest to NYP Talk Show.
Thank you, sir.
Um, Ron Brown, LMT. I ain't gonna do what Brother Sharif did to you. uh, Mikey Fever, salute, get well, brother. Salute. You can find me on Facebook as Shiek7 Islam L. You can find me on Instagram as Shiek7. That's SheikSevenIslamEl. Shiek7 on Instagram. And that's where you can find me. I'm always I'm on there quite often because I'm always striving to promote, striving to push the brand, striving to extend the information in the programs and the shows, and networking. So that's how you can find me. I ain't hard to find.
Indeed. Thanks for coming up, brother. We appreciate you.
Yes,
thanks to the viewers for viewing. This was a good build. Y'all know now who Shiek7 Islam Ill is on the surface level, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean,
I think we got kind of deep though. I think we kind of got, we got kind of deep. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you had me talk about something that I hadn't talked about in a minute, and that was that. Certain times it's good to have to speak about certain things and experience certain feelings. You know what I'm saying? So it always allowed me to know that my heart is still functioning.
Right, indeed. Peace, brother. We're signing out.
Peace.
Peace.